Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great start to your week so far. It is Monday when I'm filming this, and we're going to go over another fragrance rotation video here, just kind of getting caught up. So as always, I'm going to leave the name of the fragrances in the description, and of course the day and date that I wore them. So we'll make this somewhat brief here. We got starting off with the House of Al Shareef Oud. This is a attar, a very oud heavy attar, and it is called Khalouq. And this is kind of Al Shareef house interpretation of how the Holy Kaaba used to smell, and it is an amazing but very strong attar. They also have one called Al Bayet Al Atiq, and that one is a modern interpretation of how the Holy Kaaba smells, and they're both so good I'll probably end up buying both of them. It will be at separate times because they are quite expensive, but if you're into oud oils, if you're into attars, some of the highest quality stuff you can get there. And that one, it's really difficult to describe. It's got a little bit of earthiness, definitely oud forward, kind of dry, dark fruits with some spices in there. The only way to really describe it, you have to try it. So next one here, we got Unique Luxury Soscentific. Very easy to wear fragrance, pleasing for office, date night, very fruity opening. Got some florals, some osmanthus, some musk, I believe, and woods in there as well. So it doesn't make it too one-dimensional, but I always say about this one, even though it may not be my favorite from the house, it is one of the easiest to wear from the house and seems to get a lot of compliments and just fits every situation. So next we got Argos Perseus Triumphant, and this is a new release, their newest release actually from Argos. And I think it's some of their best work so far. You know, you get a good amount of rose in the opening, but it's a clean, not overly sweet or floral rose, even though it definitely has some sweetness in there. Leather, it's leather forward, but it's not as leather forward as Bacio Immortale, and it goes to a really buttery, creamy, sweet, non-offensive oud, not animalic, not harsh, no barnyard type of notes in this one. So a lot of people who may be getting into oud, they're going to really enjoy this fragrance because it's not too off-putting. And for me, I think this is some of Argos' best work as of late. Even over Neptune's Trident and La Primavera, I really like those two. But if you know me and you know this channel, I'm kind of biased towards these rose oud fragrances, and they really did an excellent job with this one here. Now next we got Amouage Epic Man. Epic 56 is a really good fragrance. Quality is incredible, but as a guy, man, this one is just hard to beat. Very compliment oriented, very heavy on the spice, musk, oud. Got a nice kind of sweet, they describe it as a berry essence in this, so it's kind of a blue-green fragrance. It's not really aquatic, but it does have a little bit of those qualities in the opening, and then it kind of starts leaning towards a more green, spice, and Middle Eastern forward fragrance. So next up from Boadicea the Victorious, we've got Night of Love, one of my favorite fragrances from the house. Very highly complimented. You got juniper, leather, tobacco, mosses, some aromatics in there. This is just an absolutely wonderful fragrance. It lasts forever, pure parfum concentration. I enjoyed this fragrance so much, and even my mom enjoyed the fragrance so much that we actually ended up getting this for my dad for his birthday. He had no idea what it was, probably never even heard of the House of Boadicea, but he's getting close to 70, so I figured, you know, get him something high-end, and he really enjoys it. I think it's probably his favorite fragrance in his collection so far. So next from the House of Al Shareef, this is Jamaal, and this is a pure wild oud oil, and it is strong. It is fruit forward, spicy, floral as well. Not anything like you would think of maybe Hindi or Indian ouds. It doesn't have, you know, those kind of barnyard animalic types of smells. The quality of this oil is absolutely insane. Dries down, has like a kind of a spicy cherry blossom with fruit notes in there, and of course with that strong oud smell, but again, not barnyard or animalic. This is actually from the Kelantan region, I believe, in Malaysia, and it is an extremely high quality oil. It is expensive, but you can tell the quality of the oil just by the development, the longevity, the consistency. It's all there, and you would expect that from the House of Al Shareef, especially with the money they charge, but it is truly top-notch stuff. So next here, this is a new release from the House of Al Shareef. This is a sprayable fragrance, 30 ml, and it is a limited edition, one of 200 bottles. So you know I just had to get it. Lots of different types of oud in here. A lot of natural ingredients from the Himalayas. One good thing about Al Shareef is their fragrances are 100% natural. They're not bound by the IFRA. Again, you know, people think that's like some magical organization that comes and kicks down the door of every fragrance company and, you know, makes them kind of go in line to what they think. And the IFRA is something that you have to choose to be a part of. It's kind of like a certification, and not every fragrance house does it. And I think a lot more fragrance houses need to start doing their own research, investing in their own laboratories, and getting away from the IFRA. That's just my personal opinion. I think they're absolutely ruining the fragrance industry, and I think a lot of the newer releases compared to what we got 20 to 30 years ago are kind of confirming that, even though there are a lot of good ones and there's always little ways around some of the IFRA's constraints. But yeah, this less regulation in this type of industry for the most part I think is a good thing. So Arakan is another, this is a pure wild oud oil. It's very, very interesting. Even Al Shareef, the creator of this fragrance, the House of Al Shareef, their description of it, it's hard to put into words what is in here. It is animalic and slightly barnyard. A little bit of nuttiness to it, but the main thing that I get is like kind of like a date syrup along with some golden raisins in here. It is just extremely complex. This is from Arakan. I believe it's a region in the coast of Burma, and basically talking about the story of Arakan, how they were introduced from shipwrecked sailors to the religion of Islam, and kind of, I guess you could say, a tribute to the people that were very oppressed, in some ways still very oppressed in that region today. The house pretty much says that this is one of the last, you know, sustainable oud oils, wild oud oils from that region, kind of struggle-free, so to speak. So very important part of history for that region, and a very, very high quality and interesting oud oil. So next here, Brivido della Caccia from the House of Argos. Guys, you already know the fragrance that got me into the House of Argos. Now I got the big bottle of it. The remainder of that 30 ml, which was the first, you know, purchase that I ever made from the House of Argos, that's going to be with me for like travel size now. So I got the big bottle. That's going to stay at my house, and when I'm traveling, you know, that's a fragrance that I can kind of take with me. It's a 30 ml, so easy to travel with, and don't have to worry about, you know, bringing the big bottles with me. Next here we got Roja Parfums Diaghilev. Really, really good. Fruity chypre. I know there's a lot of people, especially they smell this out of the bottle, or maybe it doesn't go well on their skin. They really kind of get a musty, old person type of fragrance, and that is sort of the style of the fragrance. You know, it is a classic chypre fragrance. It's got some civet in there, leather, musk, I believe. I don't think it has oud. It may have oud, but I don't pick really any up. It's really fruity, mossy, soapy, kind of what you would expect from a chypre fragrance, but just done to a very, very high level, as of course, you know, everything that Roja Parfums does. And this is really a fragrance that grows more and more on me every time I wear it. The longevity and the projection is incredible, as you would expect for that category of fragrance. But for me, the fruitiness and the peach note in here really makes it unique. Really incredible fragrance. The more I wear Diaghilev, the more I enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, I can see why. Some fragrances, they just don't go well on certain people. And it may not, you know, that may not be everybody's style, because it is more of kind of a retro fragrance with a little bit of a modern twist on it. So next we got Hidden Accords from Unique Luxury. This fragrance is not spoken about that much. Hidden Accords is a fragrance that has a lot of depth, complexity, very hard to put your kind of finger on what this is. When you smell it, you know, it's got a little coffee, a little pear, a little jasmine. It's not gourmand, it's not floral, it's not fruity. So it's very well blended. It's got a little bit of those aspects in the fragrance, but it doesn't dominate any one way. So just a very unique fragrance, and I know a lot of other people that have tried this really, really enjoy it. So you'll see Arakan on the list twice, because I wore Arakan 2 days in a row, mainly because it was so strong. I applied it too heavy the first day, and the next day I could still smell it even after showering, so I just applied a little bit more but lighter. And the same was true with our last fragrance here, Dragon. I haven't worn it in a while, and this is something that I wore 2 days in a row. Again, I applied it pretty heavy, but anyone who's, you know, had experience with this fragrance, Dragon is a very strong fragrance, but it's not overpowering. You know, it's something that you could probably still wear during a cooler spring or summer night. For me, with the warm incense and those types of notes in here, the saffron, just a beautiful, beautiful notes. really warming fragrance, a little bit of fruitiness in here as well at the top. But this fragrance is very strong, very well blended, and it's a fragrance that continues to grow on me like a lot of these do, but especially Diaghilev and Dragon. You know, I didn't dislike them at all, but the more I wear them, the more I tend to appreciate them. And that's kind of what these fragrance rotations are about, just making sure I'm continually wearing this stuff. There are certain things I save for certain occasions that are special, but overall, with all the stuff in my collection, I really try to wear it, really try to get to know the fragrances, and the more that I add, the more important that becomes, because some fragrances can kind of get lost to the wayside, especially ones that I've had for a little bit longer. And you'll see that in all my fragrance rotations. That's a pretty common thing. If I get a new fragrance in, you'll normally see me wearing that sometimes 2 days in a row, or a couple times in a 2-week period. I'll wear that fragrance 2 or 3 times. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. A lot of stuff on the table. A couple repeats here with Arakan, the pure oud oil from Burma, and Dragon from Boadicea, but really more about just getting to know those fragrances and how much I enjoy them. So hope you all enjoyed the video. Got a lot more stuff coming for the channel, and I'll see you soon.